All right, so are you ready to dive into something we use every single day, but probably don't think that much about?
Ooh, I'm intrigued. Lay it on me.
Everyday expressions, those phrases that we just throw around, but actually could be surprisingly impactful.
Hmm. Interesting. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, and we actually got this idea from this video aimed at people who are learning English.
Okay.
And they claim that just 10 everyday expressions can change your life. And I was like, okay, I have to look into this.
I mean, I think even if you are not learning English, I think we'll uncover some interesting stuff today.
Totally. So the first expression that they highlight is better late than never.
Okay.
And they show this, this clock ticking and someone finally like getting off the couch to exercise.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, taking action is always better than just wishing you had, no matter when you start.
That immediately makes me think of Carol Dweck's work on growth mindset.
Yeah.
She talks about how our brains are wired for learning no matter our age.
Oh.
It's never too late to change or chase a goal. That's a pretty empowering message.
Totally. And it makes me think about all those times I put things off and you finally do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like that feeling of relief when you finally tackle something.
Yeah.
Have you noticed how common better late than never is? Like
All the time.
yeah.
I mean, especially they use the example, I finally started exercising this year. Better late than never.
Right.
I mean, not only is it January and we're all coming off the holidays, but it just makes me think about all the other things that you could apply that to,
Well,
like reconnecting with a friend, starting that creative project that you've been putting off,
exactly.
or, even just apologizing for a mistake. I mean,
Yeah.
it can be applied to so many things.
All right. Next up is bite the bullet. And they illustrate this with this nervous little cartoon going to the dentist.
Okay.
And it basically means, facing a difficult task head on.
Yeah, and what's interesting about Bite the Bullet is it comes from, like, battlefield surgery before there was modern anesthesia.
Oh, really?
Soldiers would literally bite down on a bullet to endure the pain.
Wow. That adds like a whole other layer to that, doesn't it? To think about like,
Emphasizes just how much we can endure when we have to.
yeah.
And it speaks to our resilience,
Yeah.
our ability to overcome these challenges. Sometimes we have to do things we don't enjoy to achieve a larger goal.
Yeah.
And they used a great example. I don't like going to the dentist, but I need to bite the bullet and get my teeth checked.
I mean, for me, bite the bullet makes me think about this huge work project I had a couple of years ago.
Okay.
And I kept putting it off. And I was like, you know what? I just got to bite the bullet and get started.
Mm-hmm.
And it turned out it wasn't as bad as I had built it up in my mind.
I think that's a really common experience, right? We kind of psych ourselves out.
I
And then
mean,
once we actually get started,
yeah, it's not that bad.
yeah, and there's that feeling of accomplishment
Exactly.
once you push through
Yes.
those mental barriers.
All right. Are you ready for a little luck?
Hit me.
All right. Expression number 3 is break a leg.
Oh, I love this one. And they used to stage with those bright lights and an audience clapping,
Yeah.
instantly connecting it to the world of
A
performance.
classic, right?
Right.
So they point out it's popular before performances, big events.
Mm-hmm.
But really, anytime someone needs a boost, like, I believe in you, go for it.
But it wasn't always a positive expression,
Really?
Some believe it originated from a superstition in the theater world,
Oh.
where directly wishing someone good luck was considered bad luck.
So you're saying it's bad luck to say good luck?
Right.
Wow. So saying break a leg was actually a way to avoid tempting fate.
Right. Kind of a roundabout way of wishing them well.
That is so fascinating. I never knew that.
It's one of those expressions that has a really interesting history.
Okay, on to expression number 4, hit the nail on the head.
I think I know where this one's going.
And they illustrated this with, you guessed it, a hammer striking a nail perfectly.
Makes sense. Talk about precision and accuracy.
Yeah, and there's something so satisfying about those aha moments, right?
Mhm.
When everything suddenly clicks into place.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like you said, finding the missing piece of the puzzle.
Mhm.
And they used the example, she hit the nail on the head when she said, our marketing strategy needs improvement,
Ooh.
which is such a great way to acknowledge someone's insight,
Yeah.
especially in a professional setting.
It's like it validates their contribution and it encourages that kind of clear communication.
Yeah, and it fosters an environment where people feel heard and valued,
Totally.
which, can lead to more effective collaboration.
Exactly. Okay. Are you ready to burn some midnight oil?
Oh, I've been there, done that.
Expression number 5,
Let's hear it.
burn the midnight oil.
Okay.
And for this one, they showed someone hunched over a desk late at night,
Classic image of working late.
surrounded by papers, bathed in that lamplight.
Yeah, I can practically smell the coffee brewing.
It really captures that feeling of dedication, pushing yourself to get things done.
For sure.
I gotta say, though, I'm more of a get a good night's sleep and tackle it fresh in the morning kind of person.
I'm with you on that. While I admire the dedication,
Yeah.
consistently sacrificing sleep, I don't know.
It can backfire, right?
It can backfire. I think the example, I had to burn the midnight oil to finish the project on time, makes it sound almost glamorous, which I don't know.
Oh, no, right? It can be kind of a dangerous.
Yeah.
Glorifying overwork is never a good idea.
It's all about balance.
Yes,
Dedication to your goals, but also taking care of yourself.
exactly. Speaking of things we should be careful about,
Oh, this sounds ominous.
expression number 6 is all about secrets. Let the cat out of the bag.
Oh, and they illustrated this with this cartoon cat leaping out of a bag, which is perfect, right?
Okay.
It really captures the surprise and maybe a little bit of mischief.
Right, it's when a secret's revealed, whether it's on purpose or by accident.
Yeah.
Have you ever let the cat out of the bag accidentally?
I'm sure I have, but nothing's coming to mind at the moment. How about you?
Oh, I've definitely had a few slip-ups over the years.
I think we'd all have.
So the example they use is, he let the cat out of the bag about the surprise party before we could stop him.
Classic.
And speaking of parties, I remember this one time, actually maybe I shouldn't say,
Yeah, some secrets are better left untold.
but it is a good reminder that once the cat's out of the bag,
All right.
there's no putting it back in.
It's out there.
We have to be mindful
Yeah,
of the information we share
definitely.
and the potential consequences.
Okay, let's switch gears to something maybe a little less celebratory, but definitely relatable. Expression number 7 is throw in the towel.
Oh, I know this one.
And they went with a boxing ring, showing a fighter raising his hands in surrender. It's such a powerful image of defeat.
It is. It really captures that feeling of giving up. But I think they make a good point
Mm-hmm.
that sometimes knowing when to walk away is actually a strength, not a weakness.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it can free you up to pursue something better.
Right. Like they use the example, I was struggling with learning French, but I'm not ready to throw in the towel just yet.
Oh, yeah.
It's not about giving up entirely. It's recognizing when to reevaluate
Right.
and maybe redirect your energy.
Love that. It's like choosing your battles.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Some battles are worth fighting and some, well,
Yeah, sometimes it's better to walk away.
sometimes it's wiser to conserve your energy for something more worthwhile.
All right, ready for a positivity boost.
I think we could all use one.
Expression number 8 is a blessing in disguise.
I love this one. And their visual was beautiful, dark clouds parting to reveal sunshine.
Oh, I like that.
It's that classic reminder that even difficult times can hold hidden opportunities.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
that what seems like a setback can actually lead to something better.
Right.
I remember when you know what, this is getting a little too personal. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think it's just a great reminder to always look for the good in every situation.
Yeah.
It's easy to get caught up in the negative, but
Yeah.
if we can shift our perspective,
Mm,
we often discover hidden opportunities or lessons to be learned.
it's like that saying, when one door closes, another one opens.
Right.
Sometimes we just need a little time and perspective
Yeah. To see the bigger picture.
to see that bigger picture. And the example they use is, losing my job felt awful, but it was a blessing in disguise because I found a much better one.
Oh, I love that.
Right.
Sometimes those unexpected turns in life can lead to the most amazing destinations.
Okay, expression number 9 is, the ball is in your court.
Oh, and they showed a tennis ball bouncing between two players. So fitting.
Right, it's so fitting. It really illustrates that back and forth dynamic.
Yeah, the expression is all about taking responsibility,
Mhm.
making decisions. It often comes up when someone's presented options.
Right.
And now it's up to the other person to decide.
The example they use is, I've given you all the information you need, now the ball is in your court.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a brilliant way to set boundaries.
Yeah.
Like, you've done your part, now it's their turn to step up.
It can be used both personally and professionally
Yeah.
to shift responsibility, to encourage action.
Yes.
And sometimes it's about letting go of control and trusting that the other person will make the right decision for themselves.
Very true. Okay, last but not least, we've got a classic. Actions speak louder than words.
A classic for a reason, and they showed someone helping another person instead of just talking about it.
Simple, but so powerful.
Yeah, it's that emphasis on actually doing something carries more weight than just making promises.
They offered the example. He keeps saying he'll help with my project, but actions speak louder than words.
And I think that speaks to the frustration we feel when someone's words don't match their behavior.
Yeah.
And it's a way of gently nudging them towards action.
It's about accountability and integrity.
Yeah, walking the walk, not just talking the talk.
Exactly. All right, those were all 10 expressions. What do you think?
Wow, that was quite a journey through everyday language.
I know, right? Did any of them stand out to you in a new way?
Hearing about the origins of bite the bullet, I have to say, really shifted my perspective on that one.
Me too.
Mm.
And I'm really struck by how many of these expressions deal with challenges and setbacks.
Yeah.
It really makes you think about how universal those experiences are.
It does, and the fact that we've developed these shared ways of expressing them
Right.
is fascinating.
Well, this was just part 1 of our deep dive into these 10 expressions.
I'm already looking forward to part 2.
Join us for part 2, where we'll explore the psychology behind these phrases
I can't wait.
and how they can help us communicate more effectively. I'm already starting to see these expressions everywhere I go.
Me too. It's amazing how much power these everyday phrases hold. See you in part 2.
Welcome back to our deep dive into these powerful everyday expressions. So we've already covered the definitions and some really interesting origins,
Yeah,
but now it's time to go even deeper.
right. We're going to explore the psychology behind these phrases
Yeah.
and why they resonate so strongly with us.
Ooh, I'm excited to unpack this even further.
Yeah.
What expression should we start with?
Well, let's revisit better late than never.
Yeah.
We talked about how it embodies a growth mindset, but I
Mhm.
think there's also a significant element of self-compassion.
Ooh, self-compassion. I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Like giving ourselves permission to start, even if we feel like we've, messed up or we're behind.
Exactly. It's about silencing that inner critic that tells us we've missed the boat.
Yeah.
Better late than never allows us to focus on the present moment
Yeah.
and the possibility of progress no matter what happened in the past.
It's like a breath of fresh air, isn't it?
It is. It takes the pressure off,
Yeah.
and it allows us to celebrate those small steps forward.
Okay, so now let's switch gears to bite the bullet. We discussed its rather gruesome origins.
Yeah.
But beyond resilience, I think it also highlights this sense of agency.
Oh, that's interesting.
Right.
Tell me more about that.
It's like we're taking control of the situation.
Okay.
Even if it's unpleasant, it's like we're choosing this.
Right. By choosing to bite the bullet, we're acknowledging the difficulty, but also asserting our ability to handle it.
Yeah, like we're not letting it control us. We're like, no, we got this.
We're making a conscious choice to move forward.
This might not be fun, but I'm in charge. I remember using bite the bullet when I finally decided to declutter my entire basement.
Oh,
It
wow.
was a daunting task.
That's a big one.
But I was like, you know what? Just bite the bullet and get it done.
How did it feel once you finished?
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
It was such a relief to finally tackle that project.
There's a real sense of accomplishment that comes from pushing through those mental barriers.
Absolutely. Okay, let's talk about break a leg. I'm still fascinated by the idea that this seemingly positive phrase might have originated from a superstition.
Right, wishing someone bad luck to avoid tempting fate.
Oh.
But I think there's another layer to this.
Oh, okay.
The expression acknowledges that inherent nervousness
Right.
that comes with performance.
Oh, yeah.
We're taking risks.
It's like, I know you're nervous.
Right, yeah. But I believe in you.
And we're using this kind of playful, almost counterintuitive phrase.
Yeah.
Like an inside joke.
It creates this sense of camaraderie.
Right.
A shared understanding of the pressure and the
Yeah.
excitement.
Right, like we're all in this together.
That comes with stepping outside our comfort zones.
Okay, so what about hit the nail on the head?
Oh, good one.
What's going on psychologically when we use that phrase?
Well, on a basic level, it's about accuracy and precision,
Right.
but I think it goes deeper than that.
I agree. It's like when someone hits a nail on the head, they're not just stating a fact.
Right.
They're receiving validation for their insight.
Exactly.
It's a double whammy of feeling good.
Yeah.
You solved a problem.
Yeah.
You're providing a key insight,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're recognized for it.
And that validation reinforces clear thinking
Yeah.
and effective communication.
It's like building a communication bridge.
It shows that our contributions are valued
Yeah.
and that we're on the same wavelength.
Okay, so speaking of bridges, let's move on to burn the midnight oil.
Oh, yes, burning the midnight oil.
We touched on the importance of balance and avoiding burnout,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm curious, have you ever experienced that drive,
Yeah.
that passion that keeps you working late into the night.
Oh, absolutely. Especially when I'm working on a creative project that I'm really passionate about.
Yeah.
It's like time ceases to exist,
I know.
and I just get lost in this flow of ideas.
It speaks to our innate desire to create, to achieve, to like leave our mark
Yeah.
on the world.
Yeah, and sometimes that means burning the midnight oil, literally or figuratively.
Of course, balance is crucial.
Yes, always.
But I think it really captures that spark of dedication
Right.
and ambition.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll talk about secrets.
Okay.
Let the cat out of the bag.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a vivid image, and it makes me think about the power dynamics
Oh, interesting.
involved in revealing information.
Yeah, tell me more about that.
Well, secrets, by their very nature,
Mm-hmm.
create this sense of intrigue
Yeah.
and anticipation.
Right.
And when they're revealed, it can disrupt those dynamics.
It can shift the balance of power,
Right.
either intentional or unintentionally.
Right.
And sometimes it can be, well, quite damaging.
Yeah, so the example they used, he let the cat out of the bag about the surprise party before we could stop him.
Yeah.
That's like unintentional disruption.
Yeah, classic
It
example.
highlights that importance of discretion and timing
Right.
in communication.
Okay, now shifting gears again.
Okay.
Let's consider throw in the towel. We talked about recognizing when to walk away.
Yeah.
But I think there's this psychological process involved in admitting defeat. It's not always easy to do.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
It requires this level of self-awareness and humility to acknowledge
Yeah.
that something isn't working and it's okay to let go.
Right. It's about releasing the grip of our ego and accepting that sometimes surrender is the wisest course of action.
Yeah, it's not about giving up on ourselves, though.
Right.
It's about recognizing our limitations and choosing to focus our energy on something more, like aligned with our values
Yeah, beautifully put.
and our goals.
It's about making choices that empower us, not
Right.
deplete us.
Okay, time for another positivity boost.
Ooh, I like those.
A blessing in disguise.
It's such a powerful reminder.
Right.
Look for the good in every situation.
It's classic cognitive reframing,
It is.
right? We're choosing to shift our perspective from negative to positive.
Yeah, it allows us to find meaning
Right.
and opportunity, even in the face of adversity.
It's like training our minds to see the silver lining,
Yeah.
even when the clouds seem dark and stormy.
And sometimes those blessings in disguise are only apparent in retrospect.
Right.
It takes time and distance to recognize how a seemingly negative experience actually set us on a more fulfilling path.
I know. For me, some of the most challenging experiences in my life have ultimately led to the greatest, personal growth
Yeah.
and transformation.
I hear that.
It's like this saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Right.
Okay, so let's move on to the ball is in your court.
Okay.
This expression's about responsibility and accountability,
Yeah.
but it's also about empowering others to take action.
Right. It strikes a balance
Mm-hmm.
between setting clear boundaries
Yeah.
and encouraging autonomy.
I think it's a really valuable tool for navigating relationships,
Yeah.
both personal and professional.
I agree.
Okay, finally, let's revisit. Actions speak louder than words.
Yes.
It highlights the gap between intention and action,
Mm.
but it also underscores the power of nonverbal communication.
Right. It's like saying, don't just tell me, show me.
Exactly.
Our actions reveal our true intentions and values,
Mhm.
sometimes more effectively than words ever could.
It's about authenticity and integrity, walking the walk.
Yeah, not just talking the talk.
And when our actions and words align,
Yes.
we build trust
Yeah.
and credibility.
Absolutely. And that's a powerful foundation for any relationship.
Wow, this deep dive into the psychology behind these expressions is truly fascinating.
It is.
It's amazing how much depth and nuance we've uncovered in these seemingly simple phrases.
You know, it really speaks to the power of language
Mm-hmm.
to reflect our inner world
Right.
and to shape our interactions with others.
Yeah, and I'm already starting to notice these expressions popping up everywhere I go.
Yeah, me too.
It's like I've gained this whole new level of awareness.
It's the beauty of language exploration. It opens our eyes to
Mm.
new perspectives and helps us connect with the world around us in more meaningful ways.
So before we wrap up part 2, is there anything else you want to add about the psychology behind these expressions? All right, welcome back to the final part of our deep dive
Yeah.
into these 10 everyday expressions that can truly level up your communication game.
I'm excited for this.
I know, me too.
We've unpacked the definitions,
Mm-hmm.
the psychology.
Yep.
Now it's time for the fun part. putting these expressions into action.
Yes, I am so ready
In your own life.
to unleash my newfound word power.
Okay, where do we begin?
I don't know. Where do we?
Well, let's start with a simple but effective tip. Pay attention to how these expressions are used in your everyday life.
Okay.
Become a language detective.
So like eavesdropping on conversations.
Not quite eavesdropping, but definitely tuning in.
Okay.
Notice the context, the tone of voice, the body language. It's like observing these expressions in their natural habitat.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
It's like we're conducting field research on everyday language.
Exactly. And as you become more aware of these expressions, you'll naturally start incorporating them into your own conversations.
But what if it feels awkward or forced at first?
That's totally normal.
Okay.
Think of it like learning a new dance move.
Oh, okay.
It might feel a little clunky at first, but with practice, it'll become smoother and more natural.
So what's the best way to practice?
Start small.
Okay.
Maybe try using 1 or 2 expressions with close friends or family members.
Right, so like my safe space.
Yeah, they'll be your supportive audience
Okay.
as you experiment and find your voice.
Gotcha. So like trying out a new recipe on my family
Exactly.
before serving it to guests at a dinner party.
Now remember, context is key. You wouldn't use the same language with your boss as you would with your best friend.
Right, like I probably wouldn't tell my boss to break a leg before a big presentation.
Exactly, unless you were trying to get fired.
Unless I was trying to get fired. Yeah.
Think about the tone of voice, the body language that you're using to convey the message.
So like if I'm saying better late than never to someone who's feeling discouraged, I wouldn't want to sound sarcastic or judgmental.
Exactly. Your tone and body language can make all the difference in how your message is received.
Okay, I'm starting to get the hang of this. What about those times when we need to deliver a difficult message? Can these expressions help with that?
Absolutely. Instead of directly criticizing someone, you could use hit the nail on the head to acknowledge their insight while also suggesting an area for improvement.
Oh, that's good.
It softens the blow.
Yeah, it's a more diplomatic way of like offering constructive feedback.
Exactly.
And if you need to set boundaries, like the ball is in your court, is a clear and assertive way to communicate your expectation.
Without being aggressive.
Perfect. Okay. What about when we're on the receiving end of a difficult message? Any advice on how these expressions can help us navigate those situations?
Well, if someone says something that hurts you or offends you, remember, actions speak louder than words.
Okay.
Observe their behavior and see if their actions align with their words.
Yeah, it's easy to get like caught up in the emotions at the moment, but taking a step back could be helpful.
And if you're feeling overwhelmed or discouraged, remember, better late than never.
Okay.
And a blessing in disguise.
Those are good reminders to like stay positive and focus on the long game.
It's all about perspective.
Okay, so we've talked about how to use these expressions effectively in different situations.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of curious about the bigger picture.
Okay.
What does it say about us as humans that we have so many expressions for dealing with challenges, taking action, navigating relationships?
That's a great question. I think it speaks to our shared human experience. You know, we all face similar struggles. We all experience setbacks. We all crave connection and belonging.
It's like these expressions are these little nuggets of wisdom that have been passed down through generations, helping us make sense of the world.
Beautifully put.
And our place in it.
They reflect our collective wisdom, our resilience, and our ability to find humor and meaning. Even in the toughest of times.
It's like we're all in this together. And these expressions are our shared language for navigating the ups and downs of life.
And as you continue to explore these expressions, pay attention to how they make you feel, how they influence your interactions, how they shape your understanding of yourself and others.
It's like embarking on a journey of self-discovery through language.
Exactly. And remember, language is a powerful tool. Use it wisely. Use it creatively. Use it to connect with the world around you.
This has been such an insightful deep dive.
It has.
I feel like I've gained a whole new appreciation for the power of everyday language.
Me too. It's been a joy exploring these expressions with you.
Okay, before we sign off, is there anything else you want to leave our listeners with?
I would just encourage everyone to embrace the beauty and the complexity of language. Pay attention to the words you use, the words you hear, and the stories they tell.
And don't be afraid to experiment.
Yes.
to play with language and to find your own unique voice.
Go out there and use these expressions.
Yes.
See which ones resonate with you, which ones make you laugh, which ones help you connect with others.
And let us know which ones make the biggest impact on your life.
Until next time, happy communicating.